All right, this is part four, still 31st of March 2016 here, and I'm still reading the notes from my ayahuasca diet in Pucallpa, Peru in February. And this is actually ceremony three. The previous episode, previous part three was notes in between ceremony two and three. This is actually the beginning of my notes on ceremony three. February 17th, 5 a.m. Wow, in big letters. That was by very far the most intense ayahuasca I've ever had. Amazing. My whole body vibrating, light, like Toad, but somehow more profound, sort of digging deeper to get there. When I say Toad, I mean Bufo alvarius, Toad medicine. Okay? The strongest entheogen, according to Terence McKenna. Here, you have to fight for it, earn it, want it. You have to go and get it. We were reminded by Claude prior to commencing that we should sit up here, especially for the Icarus. So I did, and it somehow felt easy. Was it because I had decided, I had firmly decided I would do what it takes? I think so. This time we had a man singing too, because a group of Polacks, Poles, I think is the correct term, joined us today, bringing the group to about 24 or 25. This man started, I think, and as he did, I burst into light and my whole body was vibrating very intensely. I was bare chested and it felt great. Before I even felt anything, it felt as though the whole evening was falling into place. I had managed to get a full cup. I had the best mattress, comfy. Yeah, it was a much better. There was one mattress out of there that was just better and newer than all the others. It started raining a bit and got cooler, and I was mattress 13 from Hut 13, right opposite the maestro and her ayahuasca. I felt pretty great as I was sitting there in the dark breeze. But my triple shot wasn't kicking in. It took what seemed like ages, but probably no more than 45 to 60 minutes. I was almost convinced at one point that it wasn't going to work. Then I decided to change my line of thought, straighten my back, and focus. Shortly afterwards, everyone started singing, and I got the first signs. And when the Icarus started at one on one, boom! It was still overall quite messy, no visuals, but lots of feeling and good feeling too. Lots of vibrating, lots of waves too. Just when you thought it had faded, it would come back real hard, boom! Breathing consciously and deeply is the key to consciousness in this experience. That's the life. The trick is to keep breathing. It really is. Lots more to say, but I'm falling asleep, finally. 10:15 a.m. Food came at 10 a.m. while I was having a shower, trying to remember things. I got a mild diarrhea around 6 a.m. after farting very foul at 5 a.m. as I returned to my tambo. During number three, right after the one, during ceremony number three, right after the one-on-one Icaro, which saw me vibrate like crazy, I decided to go and pee. The moment I started walking, I wondered if that was a good decision as I was struggling to keep my trajectory straight. I couldn't keep my balance very well. It was a bit tricky. It was pretty dark, and on my way back, I would struggle to find my mattress too. Walking along the wooden pier to the toilet was wild, not for difficulty, although it was tricky, but for surrealness. And the toilet, well, oh my God, the most surreal toilet I have ever seen. I wish I could have photographed it as I saw it. At one point, I started to get these forgotten memories poured, scattered down into the air for me to wonder at and grab as they floated by. Toys, feelings, things associated with colors, shoes, all from the young London days. This trail didn't go deep enough, as by then the ayahuasca was mellowing and I was too tired, lying down, to try and pump it back up. I remembered that I was jealous because my mother would take care of other kids. This is when I was a kid, really. Because she was a teacher, right? And I went to the same school That's where she was teaching. I felt abandoned, I guess, at least in some way. That felt very why, W-H-Y, in the experience, and as in, why feel like that? I pictured a 6-year-old boy who hated his face, because when I was a kid, and I think I remember this moment, but I'm not sure. I think I was about 6 years old, and I looked in the mirror. My mother was there in the room, and I said, I hate my face. And that was, self-esteem and all the negative feedback I was getting from my dad, um, and yeah. When I was in this experience, I think I remembered that kid. I remember that he's still there. He's still inside me, and he still needs love. And there's only one person who can give it to him, and that's me. You can't blame people for how you feel. You have to give yourself the power. You have to empower yourself and take full responsibility for who you are, how you feel, what you've become, what you haven't become. And otherwise, you're never going to change. And you're just going to stay a victim blaming others, and you're fucking yourself over by doing that. I pictured a 6-year-old boy who hated his face and took it in my hands and told him, your face is beautiful, it's perfect. And what your father says to you, he is really saying to himself. It has nothing to do with you. It was hard to convince him, but hopefully he'll remember. What I need now is to fully extrapolate, explore, unravel all the twisted beliefs that trickle down from the words I heard. I miss not having a dad. Even at very almost 42, a wise dad could teach me things about life, for sure. I know my worries are fickle in perspective of the ones so many other people have, but they're all I've got. One by one, I pictured all the people that mattered the most. Dad, Guillaume, Dad, Mom, Guillaume, Christina, Sarah, even Gohan. Gohan's my dog. And I was struck by Gohan being yeah, I'm not sure I understand what I've written here. Yeah, I figured that the feeling of when I was born, I got stuck for 4 or 5 hours, and I guess it must have been a bit like being strangled or something. I don't know, and I wonder how much that has to do with the feeling of separation. The trauma that happened there must have marked me in some way that I'm not really aware of at all. Um, and that was separation from the womb. I don't know. I've got lots of things to understand about that. There I was, gasping for life. I really wonder to what extent our actions work backwards, since the past, the present, and future are all here now. What's to say I didn't strangle myself? I am my creator after all, aren't I? It certainly feels more and more like we are one, and that hurting others will inevitably hurt me immediately. I really don't get the one separate consciousness thing. I have my own consciousness, yet there seems to be a bigger one around it, and probably another around that. I also pictured myself interviewing Billy Idol for Mexico Real, that I'm considering renaming to America Real, if at all possible. It became clear that I could make it happen, just as I can get Keith Forsey, Billy Idol's main producer, or some other recording guru to produce my album. Maestra Ines has a fantastic voice. I spent a lot of time smiling yesterday. She does, with teeth and all. I don't normally smile. I don't normally show my teeth because I'm very conscious of my bad teeth, which are slightly yellow. There's always somehow been a bit yellow, and I don't really know why. It was a pleasant, life-endearing experience. There's no point if you can't feel. The other maestras also have amazing voices. There were a couple of very confusing moments where I thought one of them was Ines. Sound travels in such a way of its own with ayahuasca. Around 6 p.m. Just woke up after a long sleep. Feel better but still tired. Can't believe I will be doing it all over again tomorrow already. Yeah, because there were some ceremonies between 3 and 4. There were just 2 days instead of the 3 that we normally had. It's never been this intense. Fuck me. I somehow feel confident I can pull it off again, though. By tomorrow night, I should be pretty much rested. Right now, I'm still too knackered to even think about meditation. What I would like would be to simply go for a stroll down to the Shipibo settlement, get a fruit juice maybe, get some air. A change of scenery would be welcome, however, not the kind I'm about to get in a few days. Airports, traffic, lots of people, noisy built up areas are really not what one seeks after ayahuasca. I tried to send a lot of feelings to people last night. I wonder if any of them received them. There is something I don't like about Maud. She was one of the girls there. She's French. And I wonder why, what? It's just as well she is staying the 4 weeks. I won't be hugging her. Wow. Couldn't remember feeling that. I disliked her from the very first moment I heard her at Los Delfines, which is a very cheap hotel where I stayed. Staying 4 weeks here must be very hard. That guy is on the speakers again, and I can hear another one in the background. I'm like, what the fuck? Still, I suppose if I have the opportunity to stay for one more ceremony, I might say yes, even despite the fact my 2 nights at Los Delfines are already paid for. But part of me wants to discover Pucallpa, maybe even find a karaoke. Karaoke is the way that I let it out. One was recommended to me by the hairdresser, I think. I could always go there to ask. Might, might get another cut while I'm at it. I realize that Christina, my girlfriend, deserves more love than she has been getting. Mom, too. Maybe everyone. I've started to read the Bully Idol book again, and I'm noticing different things. The occasional deep sentence that really resonates with me. As for interviewing him, I am my creator, and fuck yes, I will. You just need to want it. Ultimately, the love you get is the love you give yourself.